From Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet presents NCAA Division II women's soccer coverage live on the ECC network. In today's non-conference matchup, the College of Staten Island Dolphins take on the Texas A&M International University Dust Devils. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joe Foreman. I will be joined on this broadcast by Nick Bavona following the introduction of starting lineups. Nick performing double duty as our public address announcer today. He will join me in the booth once the action gets underway from Dolphin Soccer Park. And this, of course, is the McDonald's pregame show. McDonald's, our scoreboard sponsor here at the College of Staten Island, bringing you our pregame show each and every Dolphins home game, be it here at Dolphin Soccer Park, in the tank, at the baseball diamond, on the softball diamond, anytime, anywhere. You can grab McDonald's. Of course, McDonald's located nearby on Richmond Avenue, near the College of Staten Island, just a few short minutes from campus. But here at the soccer complex this morning, the College of Staten Island takes on Texas A&M International University. Right now, Dolphin Soccer Park, rain-soaked. The pitch has taken a lot of water in the last hour or so. Not many people gathered in the stands yet. We expect that to change as we draw a bit closer to kickoff. But for both of these teams, they will be taking the pitch looking for win number 3 on the season. Both the Dolphins and the Dust Devils come in with a record of 2-0-1 on the season. But that's not all these two sides have in common. Both also faced the Felician University Golden Falcons in their most recent game. On Tuesday, the Dolphins defeated the Golden Falcons by a score of 3-0. And on Friday, the Dust Devils beat Felician by a score of 5-0. It's something we talked about during the broadcast on Tuesday, but the Dolphins once again improving against the team that they faced last season in their game against Felician. In 2022, the Dolphins and the Golden Falcons battled to a scoreless tie. No goals scored across 90 minutes in last year's game. On Tuesday, the Dolphins scored all 3 goals, 2 of those belonging to Isabella Radavini. Both Radavini and fellow Dolphin Jackie D'Amico received East Coast Conference Honor Roll recognition for the first week of the women's soccer season. Radavini scoring 2 goals in the Dolphins' last outing. That gives her 3 for the 2023 season. Nadia Evela also scored a goal late in that game. That goal came in the 80th minute for CSI as the Dolphins took the win by a score of 3-0. As for the Dust Devils, I mentioned their win over Felician came by a final score of 5-0. They have won their 2 games by a combined 11 goals this season. They played to a scoreless tie against Mississippi College to open their season back on August 31st. Against Sul Ross State, they won 6-0. And then against Felician, they won by a final score of 5-0. So up until this point in the season, Texas A&M International has not allowed a single goal in the 2023 season. As for the Dolphins, they've also been very good this season, having allowed just a third of a goal per game so far. For the Dolphins, across their 3 contests, they have only allowed 1 goal. So both sides have been very good at preventing goals and goal-scoring chances in their 3 contests. The Dolphins perhaps facing their toughest test of the season here today against Texas A&M International. And as I mentioned already, the Dolphins are led in goals by Isabella Radavini. She has 3 on the season. Jackie D'Amico leads the team in assists with 3. But 5 different Dolphins have already scored a goal this season. Radavini with 3, as I mentioned. D'Amico with 1. Adriana Melgar with 1. Emily Albano with 1. And Nadia Evela with 1. The Dolphins have also already matched their win total from last season. The Dolphins 2-0-1 this season. They finished the 2022 season with a record of 2-9-3. Texas A&M International off to a 2-0-1 start. In 2022, the Dust Devils played to a record of 5-6-6. So both teams going for win number 2 on the season. The Dolphins with a chance to exceed their win total from last year with a victory here today. But for the Dolphins, this will be the last time we see them here at home in quite some time. The Dolphins will take on Georgian Court University on Wednesday, September 13th, later this week. They then host an alumni game here at Dolphin Soccer Park on Saturday, September 16th. However, the team will not be in action on Saturday. Instead, it will be men's soccer taking the pitch against American International University on Saturday. That game will get underway at 2 p.m. immediately following the women's soccer alumni game, which gets underway at 11 a.m. So we will have a QR code that you can scan in order to take part in our women's soccer alumni game. We'll throw that up at the end of our pregame show in just a couple of minutes. That way any interested women's soccer alumni can get signed up for that alumni game taking place on Saturday. But the Dolphins will next be in action here at Dolphin Soccer Park on Saturday, September 30th against Queens College. They will also be hosting a club day on September 30th as they welcome in Staten Island Soccer Club. So you'll have that to look forward to. Later in the month, of course, we invite everyone to join us here at Dolphin Soccer Park for that game on September 30th. Kickoff between the Dolphins and the Knights will be at 11 a.m. By the time the Dolphins do return home for that game against the Knights, they will have 2 conference games under their belts already as they take on Damon University on Saturday, September 23rd. They take on Mercy University, formerly known as Mercy College, on Wednesday, September 27th. So big conference games coming up later in the month, as it has just been announced over public address that we are in a lightning delay. So the Dolphins and the Dust Devils have been sent back to the Sports and Recreation Center. Our broadcast is officially delayed for the second day in a row. So with that, we will bring an abrupt end to our pregame show. This is CSI Sportsnet coverage of CSI Dolphins women's soccer. Once again, we are in a lightning delay as the 2 teams have been sent back to the Sports and Recreation Center. We will provide updates here on the air as we have them. Once again, lightning delay from Dolphin Soccer Park. We will rejoin you when this game is scheduled to get underway. Our original 11 a.m. kickoff obviously will not happen. It appears right now that the earliest potential kickoff time would be at approximately 11:25, so check back in around 11:25 for a potential start to today's game between the Dolphins and the Dust Devils. We'll be back with you should this game get underway. If our stream comes to an end, that means the game has been canceled. You can check for scheduling updates over at csidolphins.com. If the game is called due to the weather in the area, we will label the game as canceled over at csidolphins.com. And welcome back inside Dolphin Soccer Park on the campus of the College of Staten Island, as we are just a few moments away from kickoff between the College of Staten Island and Texas A&M International University. Once again, this is Joe Foreman on the call. There will not be introductions of starting lineups today, so joining me ahead of kickoff is my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona.
Joe, pleasure to be with you here today on what's been a gloomy Sunday afternoon or early morning, but nonetheless, we will have some football here in just a few short moments as the Dolphins are taking on the Dust Devils of Texas A&M International University. Both teams 2-0-1 on the season, both also coming off a nice win over Felicia University in their last games. They would like to pick up the momentum and get that 3rd win of the season here today.
Well, Nick, that's a really great way to sell the game, calling it football like you just did. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You never know.
We'll leave it to mystery, but of course the NFL kicks off with their first Sunday of action at 1 p.m. We thank all of you who have chosen to join us here this morning for NCAA Division II women's soccer. College of Staten Island will take on Texas A&M International University. Non-regional game for the Dolphins as Dust Devils have come quite the long way to face the College of Staten Island here today. This is a game that they, of course, want to get in, that they may need to get in moving forward in terms of their scheduling. They took on Felicia, as you mentioned, Nick, and as I mentioned earlier during our McDonald's pregame coverage. Hard to believe that was about an hour ago now, as the rain is continuing to come down heavily here at Dolphin Soccer Park. A lot of umbrellas in the crowd and on the sidelines, but out on the field, players fully exposed to the elements. We had to wait for lightning to leave the area. Lightning must be outside of 6 miles away from our location, and once the lightning cleared the area, we were ready to go. About a 10-minute warm-up for the Dolphins and the Dust Devils, and in just a few moments they will kick off.
And we had the game yesterday with the men's, in which that game was unfortunately canceled due to the lightning delay. So now both these teams, they don't want to have the same issue here today. Looks like we're going to be, as of now, looks like we're going to be good to play this game. But the conditions of the field right now have got to be a factor as this game goes along.
45 minutes on the clock. That clock will count down towards 0 in each half. Dolphins will kick off, attacking left to right. They are wearing their Columbia blue uniforms here this morning. It still qualifies as morning at 11:49 a.m. We're closing in on the afternoon, about 10 minutes out. And we're underway from the College of Staten Island. Evela sends one into the attacking third. And that's going to be an easy play For the Dust Devils goalkeeper, that's Fabiana Solano in goal. Now, the text on my Dust Devils roster is very small.
It is very small for me as well.
But I am very picky when I'm calling a game. My roster must fit on one page. I cannot have a multi-page roster.
Right.
So the text is shrunken down just a bit, but we'll manage. Dust Devils have it in the midfield. Working the ball laterally as they send it to their back line now. Castellanos toward the far side. That pass was broken up by Rodriguez. I'll get you the Dolphins starters very quickly in numerical order. First in goal, number 1, Sarah Villacres. The rest of the Dolphins starters, number 2, Jackie D'Amico. Number 4, Emily Albano. Number 6, Colleen Rodriguez. Number 8, Nadia Evola. Number 10, Isabella Radavini. Number 11, Juliana Carrara. Number 17, Ina Kolka. Number 20, Ariel Uwe. Number 24, Adriana Melgar. And number 27, Megan Marr. Dolphins once again possess it in the midfield. Evola was looking toward Carrara. That pass broken up. It was intercepted by Garcia. Now D'Amico has her pass intercepted. That time it was broken up by Michelle Velasco.
We saw in the Dolphins last game, Joe, a lot of good passing leading to some of those goals. Radavini had 2 early on. Evola had a great goal, I think, towards the end of the game.
Here come the Dust Devils as Villacres able to dive on top of that one. That was dangerous, but a strong touch just inside of the penalty area allowed Villacres to get on top of it.
Villacres with a clean sheet her last time out. Going to do it once again here today.
I mentioned it during the pregame earlier. The Dolphins have allowed just 1 goal in 3 games. The Dust Devils have not allowed a goal across 3 games, and they've won their last 2 matches by a combined score of 11-0. You can hear the rain coming down, pelting the bleachers right now outside of the press box. As the Dust Devils again on the attack, but Uwe does a nice job to shield the attacker off of that ball. That was April Alvarez looking to track that one down. At least I thought so. The number's a bit tough to make out from up here. That was actually Kristen St. Louis at the forward spot chasing after that ball.
And Joe, St. Louis had a hat trick her last time out against Felician, so that is something that's someone the Dolphins need to look out for in this game and make sure she doesn't get a lot of opportunities.
Dolphins having a tough time moving into the attacking third. Evola avoids a challenge, could not avoid a second, but Kolka is able to get it to Melgar. Melgar wanted Radavini. Pass broken up again. Melgar heads it forward. And the Dust Devils will play it back toward goal. Moving up the near side, Garcia. She was met by Evola. Dust Devils working through the midfield. They do successfully. Garcia for St. Louis. St. Louis offsides.
Nice sigh of relief right there for CSI. St. Louis was offside, so that will lead to a free kick coming up for CSI right here, just at about the 5-minute mark in this game.
Still waiting to see who will take the free kick for Staten Island. Looks like it will be the goalkeeper, Villacres. She's allowed to move ahead of the box by just a stride. As she sends one toward the far side, Rodriguez waiting for it, and she misplayed it. Throw in Texas A&M. 5 minutes gone by in this first half. Still looking for our first shot. That ball broken up by Melgar. D'Amico chips it ahead. Radavini brings it in and finds Melgar. Give and go. Radavini run up the far side. Gets to it. She plays it with the body, but it was taken away. That clearance partially broken up. The Dolphins will keep it in the attacking third. Evola for Uwe. Uwe surveys. Up ahead, Carrara. Carrara toward goal. Headed away by the Dust Devils. Carrara gets it right back. She tries to center it toward D'Amico. Evola gets a foot on it. Evola still pushing forward. Radavini now looking to turn. Radavini sends one wide of the frame. She's claiming that someone got a piece of it, but the official does not agree.
Nonetheless, Joe, a great possession right there from CSI. They really kept the Dust Devils on their toes with that one, and a good opportunity there just a little bit wide of the net.
We'll wind it ahead just a bit toward the shot. There you'll see as the Dolphins center it. They did good work to find Radavini. High effort play from Evola. And ultimately the shot by Radavini goes wide. Dolphins will throw here. Dust Devils again looking to play it ahead to St. Louis. She has a step. Albano the closest marker. Cross toward center of the box, and Marr got a piece of it but was unable to clear. Albano is able to clear it over the far side, and the Dust Devils will throw in. Once again, the ball misplayed along that far sideline, this time by Texas A&M. Rodriguez will throw for Staten Island. Long throw toward midfield, cleared a long way out of play. Rodriguez will throw again toward D'Amico, headed in the air, not once but twice. The Dust Devils looking to keep possession. Marr heads it, and it was headed right back at her. Uwe was able to find Albano. That might not have been her intended target. Here comes Rodriguez into the midfield. Far side. Plays one up ahead toward Radavini. That ball too strong. Dust Devils have it. And Solano now has it on her foot. That ball sent through the midfield, and it was deflected by St. Louis onto the foot of Albano. And now the Dust Devils moving to the attacking third, but Albano gets back to break that ball up. Kulka retreats and clears.
And what's been good for the Dolphins so far in the season, they've been really good defensively in stopping some of these attacks from their opposing teams. So far in this one, they've done a good job of not allowing the Dust Devils to get any opportunity.
Both teams looking for their first shot as a player goes down. That might have been Louise Atkinson.
I believe
really
you're
tough
right,
to
Joe.
tell, and it was Atkinson who went down. We'll see if they stop the clock. Still waiting the signal. Trainer was waved out, and with that, the clock is stopped. Just under 10 minutes gone by in this first half between the Dolphins and the Dust Devils. Dust Devils have set up some attacking chances, but none of those have yielded a shot. Dolphins do have a shot. It traveled wide. So we do officially have one shot on the board in this game for the two teams. That belongs to Staten Island.
And for the Dust Devils, Atkinson is going to walk off. It looks like that's a good sign for them. So we'll now wait to see who subs in for them.
Now, there is a substitute over at the scorer's table.
I think right now they are playing a man down, Joe.
I believe you're right. They had a substitute ready, but instead elected not to send her on. Radavini, far side. Wanted Kolka, but a lot of white jerseys in the area. And A&M will throw. And a foul is whistled just beyond the midfield stripe. 2 Dolphins in on that challenge. I believe that was Velasco who went down pretty hard on that play. Free kick, Dust Devils. Sent it to the attacking third where it's headed by Evela. Evela gets it back off the foot of D'Amico. She wants Radavini, and decisively coming off her line was Solano as she sends it into the air. And that will roll over the far side.
Good job by Solano right there. The Dolphins did have numbers, so her clearing that gives her team a chance now to get back and set up something here defensively.
That was a good ball. And very decisively, Solano came out of the penalty area and cleared it away, not giving Radavini any chance. Of course, Radavini, the Dolphins' leading goal scorer, as that's intercepted by Melgar. She finds D'Amico. D'Amico couldn't get to it in time to play it ahead toward Radavini.
And we've seen Melgar, Joe, these last couple of games. She's been really good for the Dolphins. Set up a couple of passes in their last game against Felician. Almost had a nice setup right there. Unfortunately for the Dolphins, it leads to a turnover and now gives the Dust Devils a chance to set something up.
Castellanos moving toward the far side. The Dust Devils now trying to work through the midfield, but there are a swarm of blue jerseys in the area. Radavini sent it back to Rodriguez, now Melgar. She avoids a challenge. Moves across the midfield stripe and sends it near side. Uwe up ahead toward D'Amico. A bit too strong, but Radavini on the run. Gets there! Shoots and scores! Isabella Radavini on the ball from Ariel Uwe. It got past D'Amico and through the back line of the Dust Devils, and the Dolphins are on the board first. It's 1-0.
Well, I'm not sure if that's what Uwe was setting up for there, Joe, but it worked nonetheless, and Radavini with a great job once again, using her speed to get to the ball, shoots it off her left foot and in for the Dolphins' first goal of the game. Man, Joe, she's been off to a great start here for her Dolphins' career.
What a tremendous ball from Uwe, and as we said, Nick, we're not sure that was the intent, but it found its way through the back line of the Dust Devils, and Radavini on the run was hit in stride by the pass, and just like that, the Dolphins have a first-half lead. That's crossed into the box. Albano heads it away. Melgar gets a step. Carrara. She wanted D'Amico, but an ill-advised pass there will set up the Dust Devils on the counter. Garcia into the center of the pitch where Kolka nearly took it away. Quadra stayed with it as that's bodied away by Marr. Good job to avoid the handball. Kolka sends it toward midfield. Waiting for it was Forn. Castellanos toward the far side. Now Forn again. Good ball toward our attacker, Quadra, but a lot of blue jerseys in the area again. Kolka went down. Free kick, Staten Island.
Momentum so far going in the way of the Dolphins after that goal, as they now look to attack right here and increase their lead with this free kick, and now an opportunity here for them in the attacking zone.
Rodriguez into the box and on goal. And Nick, I just realized I pulled you off public address. We have to grab the microphone so you can announce the goals.
All right.
So why don't you head next door? Just grab the microphone. It's wireless. Bring it in here. And should we have another score, Nick will announce it to the spectators assembled. And they have grown in number since this game started. That ball broken up by the Dolphins in the back, but Evola gave it away. Quadra looks to turn and sends that ball towards St. Louis, but Villacrest is able to dive on top of it. Just inside of 31 minutes remaining in this first half. Dolphins with a 1-goal lead. That goal the first allowed by the Dust Devils this season. And Uwe was unable to keep it in along the near side. Garcia to throw. She gives it to Forn, who sends it into the midfield. Moving forward is Alvarez. Alvarez towards St. Louis, bodied away by Uwe. Heel kicked by Rodriguez, but once again the Dust Devils were nearly able to track it down. D'Amico was the first to it for Staten Island. Kolka working against a pair of markers. Looked to play Rodriguez up the far side, but that ball just a bit too strong. The Dust Devils throw quickly. Under 30 to play in the first half. The good news for the players out on the pitch, despite the delay, I don't think they'll be needing water breaks today, Nick.
No, we saw a lot of them on Tuesday, where it was a very hot day in that game against Felician. But I think you're right. I don't think we'll be needing a lot of them today.
Nice cool weather outside. A bit more wet weather than we'd like, but
yeah,
temperature-wise, I think we're doing well today. Can't say the same about our game yesterday and our game on Tuesday, though yesterday's game didn't last very long.
Right.
Good breakup by Radavini on that last pass attempt by Alvarez. Radavini now trying to find somewhere to go with it. Plays it back to Albano. Albano for Marr. Marr right back to Albano. And here comes pressure from the Dust Devils. Rodriguez looking to move toward the far side. And that ball was knocked away by Savannah Gutierrez. Dust Devils have it in the midfield. And Radavini takes it away. Radavini avoids one challenge, but a bit too strong on the touch. We'll see if she kept possession. She did. And the Dolphins will throw. Just one shot on goal in this game. That belongs to CSI. That shot found the back of the net. Both shots in this game belong to the Dolphins. Off the throw, the Dust Devils take possession. They play it back toward goal. It's sent forward by Solano. And the Dolphins come away with it out of the air. Uwe from Melgar. Uwe toward D'Amico, and she goes down. Kolka there waiting. Kolka avoids a challenge. Evola has it now. But the Dust Devils take it away. Quadra came back. As that's a hard tackle by Evola. And you could hear that from up here.
Try to see what number that is down. That's number 23. Alexandra Garcia down. And you could see, Joe, that slide tackle attempt ran right into her lower leg. So she's definitely in some pain.
And you could hear it. That was a hard tackle. I think what happened is that the spikes of Evola made contact with a shin guard. Free kick, Texas A&M International. Just inside of 27 minutes to play. First half, Garcia appears okay. Those shin guards paying off in that spot. That one redirected off the heel of an attacker. And the Dolphins once again converging over the ball, able to take it away. D'Amico for Kolka. Kolka, center of the pitch. Up ahead, Carrara, she has a step, doesn't shoot. Plays it toward Kulka in front. High and wide on the shot. What an opportunity for Kulka to put the Dolphins ahead 2-0.
Almost a beautiful give and go for CSI right there. Just a little bit too far right. A tough break for the Dolphins as they almost had there a 2-0 lead. And now with that, we'll have a substitution coming in for the Dust Devils.
We'll get a look at how that play developed. Kulka to Carrara, who nearly had it taken away, and instead was able to maintain possession in traffic, get it back to Kulka, who had a great look right in the center of the box. Dolphins have certainly put the pressure on the Dust Devils early in this first half. At both ends of the pitch, takeaway by Albano, but she gave it right back. That ball, a tough one to keep on her foot in heavy traffic. Forn, near side. This is Garcia. Garcia off target with that ball. A bit of a miscommunication there with Quadra. That was knocked down. But D'Amico gets to it for Staten Island. Uwe chips it in the air. Carrara. Evola now. Down the center of the pitch. She plays it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez moving forward into the attacking third with some speed. Rodriguez has a step. Now working toward the far side. This is Radavini. Radavini into the box and on goal. Playing it on a bounce was Solano. Under 25 minutes to play in this first half. Garcia for Quadra. Challenged by Evola. Quadra looking for somewhere to go with it. Avoids the tackle by Evola. Now moving forward into the attacking third. She has Garcia with room. Uwe closing in, and she breaks up the cross.
Another good defensive play there by Uwe. Now leading to a throw-in coming in for the Dust Devils.
And we've seen a lot of good defensive plays by Uwe. At the other end of the pitch, she's already picked up an assist in this game. Forn. Wide. And that ball is long gone over the fence.
Good luck tracking that one down.
Good luck, Patrick Fleming, our ball runner, as they'll have to get a ball from the far side. Had a busy man down there.
Wondering how far that did travel.
That ball went pretty long way. Just wide of the netting behind goal.
Nice move right there from Rodriguez to keep it in play and give the Dolphins a chance here, but that one goes out now.
I think Pat is locked in to the complex.
I think
There's no open gates.
I think they do have someone tracking it down, though.
They do. There's two balls back there. They're sorting it out. He's locked in, Nick. He can't get out. We await a Dolphins throw here. Redirected by D'Amico. Radavini nearly got there. Could not. But Rodriguez has it. Melgar. For Uwe. Uwe has some room to work here. Uwe for Carrara. Carrara moving toward the corner. And that ball's knocked away.
Be Uwe here on the throw-in for the Dolphins.
Uwe throws toward D'Amico, who got a head on it. And fortunately for the Dust Devils, Solano made contact outside of the field of play.
And luckily for them, they led to a goal kick, so.
Looked like she almost touched it.
Right.
While standing in play and then dribbled it out. That was awfully close. St. Louis working against Marr. Hesitates and couldn't get it by Marr. Dolphins take it away. Melgar moving ahead with some speed. She finds D'Amico. D'Amico for Radavini as D'Amico goes down. Advantage Dolphins. Radavini with a good move to avoid one marker. She's able to keep it in or not. Awfully close along the touchline, but I think that was the right call.
A good attempt nonetheless from Radavini to try to keep it in. But a big break for the Dust Devils right there, as now they'll get a goal kick coming up for them.
Some quality dribbling there to avoid the first challenge, but with that touch, she could not keep it in play against the second. Long ball up the pitch. Marr back there waiting for Staten Island. She sends it in the air toward the near side. That was headed by Garcia. St. Louis working against Uwe. Gets it away to Quadra. Albano looking to intercept on that pass. Could not. Quadra looking to play an attacker through. Rodriguez knocks it away, and it's cleared into the midfield. Radavini has it now. Surveying. Kolka. Up ahead. Carrara. Carrara had that ball broken up. That one was headed for D'Amico in the box. Here come the Dust Devils again. Garcia moving forward with some speed. Plays an attacker through, but flag is up. Atkinson offsides.
Another offside right there for the Dust Devils. Second one in which they were about to have an opportunity to score a goal. Now will lead to a free kick coming up for CSI.
Dolphins will take this free kick from right at the top of the penalty area. And they're continuing to allow Villacrest to move forward. Very similar spot to where they took that last free kick. And once again, Rodriguez misplays it over the far side. Perhaps that slick ball playing a role as we have a Dust Devil substitution.
I believe Alvarez was the one that came out for the Dust Devils, trying to see the number that came in.
That might have been Liana Jimenez, 21, if I'm
That's
not mistaken.
That's what it looks like. I did leave the Knox in the other room, though, so I could get those at the half.
21 for 14 if they're listening to the broadcast.
Okay, it is 21.
We approach 18 minutes to play in this first half. And the majority of the quality chances have belonged to the Dolphins. There have been some threatening attacking plays from the Dust Devils. No shots to show for it yet. Ball headed in the air. D'Amico got a piece. Now Melgar. Quadra chips it ahead. Albano heads it skyward. It's headed again and cleared by Marr. That ball off target along the far sideline, and the Dolphins will throw. Seems like the rain has lightened up a bit here at Dolphin Soccer Park.
We hope it stays that way the rest of this game.
The umbrella is starting to close up a bit along the sidelines and in the bleachers. That ball sent near side. Garcia. Ivy Lara also checked in. Might have missed that substitution, as that sent toward goal. And Villacrest grabs it on the fly.
And I want to say, Joe, that substitution is probably for Atkinson, who came out of this game earlier with the injury.
I think you're right. Well, the scoreboard hasn't given that a shot on goal yet. Let's see if our stats gave it a shot on goal. They did not. Dust Devils moving through the midfield. And that pass intercepted easily by Rodriguez. Kolka for Evola. Evola facing some pressure. Gets it away to Uwe. Uwe, given a lot of space, finds Radavini. Radavini wanted to cross. And the ruling is goal kick. Radavini can't believe it.
Dolphins were looking for a corner right there. They do not get it. And now another goal kick for the Dust Devils.
We're nearly 2/3 of the way through half number one as we approach 15 minutes to go. Albano up the far side. That ball rolls down toward the corner. Solano plays it toward the near side. Forn looking for somewhere to go with it. Instead finds the head of Marr. St. Louis had it taken away by Radavini, who's whistled for a foul.
Radavini has not been happy with the officials early on in this first half with some of the calls that have gone against her. And now a free kick coming up for Texas A&M.
And they're going to have the Dust Devils take this free kick again as the official was conversing with Radavini. That's sent toward the top of the box. Kolka first to get a foot on it. Redirects for D'Amico. D'Amico for Evola. Evola looking up ahead toward Radavini. It's broken up. Uwe for Radavini. Back to Uwe. And the Dolphins will reset here. Villacres. For Albano. And Albano sends one off of our tent along the sideline.
Took a nice ricochet off that tent.
Bit lower and heads up.
Not mistaken, that's the trainers under the tent, correct?
Yes. And very quickly off of that throw, Dolphins are whistled for a foul, and perhaps this is what the Dust Devils need to generate a quality scoring chance. We haven't seen one in a while. They had some threatening attacks early, but that was in the opening minutes. Not much since. Clock winds down toward 13 minutes to play in half number one. Most of the Dust Devils assembled along the far side of the box. And that was headed by Evola. She got all of that one. Radavini tried to work through two markers, and at the very least was able to send it the other way. Forn for Garcia. Right back to Forn. Center of the pitch now, Jimenez. She plays it far side. Castellanos sends it past everybody. Was able to get that ball by a pair of Dolphins, but a bit off target. Villacres will look to punt. She sends one right along the midfield stripe. It was Osorio who got a body on it, and then Osorio who sends that pass up the far side. Albano let it roll over the touchline. Dolphins will throw. Thrown into traffic, taken by the Dust Devils. Attempted redirect off the heel there by Atkinson. was deflected over the far side. Throw in A&M. That ball sent toward goal. Villacrest gives chase and will let it roll. Goal kick, Staten Island.
Dust Devils still looking for their first shot on goal of this first half. The Dolphins have kept them at bay so far and not giving them any opportunity.
They had a long attempt that Villacrest had to play out of the air. I thought that might have been a shot on goal, but the statistician deemed that it was instead an attempted cross or pass. So officially no shots on goal yet. Takeaway by the Dolphins. Melgar avoids a challenge, moving into the midfield. That ball intended for D'Amico broken up. Garcia back to Forn. Evola there waiting for that pass. And now Carrara sent it straight to Forn again. Once again, the Dust Devils looking to work through the midfield. Here comes Atkinson. Atkinson. Good ball. Shot wide. And Villacrest wisely let that one go off the foot of Gutierrez.
A good attempt right there for the Dust Devils. Try to get their first shot on goal just a little bit wide of the net. Another goal kick coming up for CSI right here as we're just about 9:30 to go here in this first half.
Goal kick, Staten Island. In just a few moments, we'll get a look at that shot again.
Now throw-in coming up for the Dust Devils. And now another substitution. So it looks like Atkinson now will come out again, and then we'll try to see the number. I believe that is number 2. I believe that's Sammy Heck that just came into the game.
So Hecht in for the first time. This is St. Louis working toward the corner. Crossing in front, and Villacrest makes the save as that one was sent on goal by Atkinson. At least I thought that was Atkinson. I might be mistaken.
Atkinson did just subbed out.
She just subbed out. Okay.
Yep.
So that was her replacement. That was Hecht.
That was a great chance right there for the Dust Devils, too. Hecht put it perfectly there, but Villacrest with a great catch to get the save.
There you get the second look at it.
Nice ball right there.
Chasing it toward the corner. And a foul is whistled against Radavini. Once again, Dust Devils have it, and they've dominated possession over the last several minutes. With about 7:40 to go until halftime, they would like to maintain this kind of pressure on the Dolphins until the intermission. If you're the Dolphins, that's a trend you would like to see reversed before halftime. Hecht has a step. Shot by Quadro off the post, followed by St. Louis, was broken up. A sliding tackle to break up that shot attempt by Albano saved a rebound opportunity, but Quadra nearly tied the score.
Great chance for the Dust Devils right there, Joe. Just off the post, and then St. Louis almost had an opportunity on the rebound, but Albano, you said it, kicked it out away. Now leads to a corner coming up for Texas A&M right here, but a big sigh of relief for CSI.
There you get a look at that shot off the post. Second attempt broken up. Still missed just wide. And I said it just moments ago, Nick. It just feels like the momentum now lies with the Dust Devils. They've really turned up the attacking pressure these last couple of minutes. Possession distinctly in their favor over those last several minutes as well.
A big testament, Joe, has been some of their substitutions have really come into this game so far to made an impact.
Dolphins trying to clear, and they've cleared it off their own player twice consecutively.
That might be a handball off the second one, no? Or did they call a foul on Texas A&M?
I believe they did, and I saw what you saw, Nick. Thought perhaps the whistle may have been for a handball, but I think it's the right no call. Dolphins were just struggling to get that ball out of their own end. Free kick, Staten Island. Albano sends it away. That was headed back in the other direction by Jimenez. And now St. Louis in the midfield gets it away. Quadra plays it back to Lara. Lara plays it far side now. Moving forward is Castellanos. Gutierrez toward Hecht. It was broken up. Rodriguez chips it in the air, trying to keep it in and could not. Not mistaken, Nick, the Dolphins haven't made one substitution in this first half.
They have not.
So those 11 have been out there the entire game. And the Dolphins are awarded a goal kick here. And that should help take the pressure off a bit.
Now just under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Trying to keep these Dust Devils from getting on the board and tying this one up at 1.
Albano into the midfield. Off the foot of Carrara. And Castellanos will let it roll. Throw in A&M. 4.5 minutes to play first half. Dolphins lead at 1-0. But the Dust Devils have had no less than 2 or 3 great scoring chances in these last several minutes. As a foul was whistled against the Dolphins.
Another free kick coming up for them right here.
Free kick, Dust Devils. As the clock continues to wind, now inside of 4 minutes to go in half number 1.
Dolphins would certainly like to keep that one goal lead the way these last couple of minutes have gone for them. They've really been on their toes trying to stay good defensively.
That one sent toward the far post. Just a bit too strong as Foreign looked to move in. Goal kick Staten Island with under 3.5 to go in the first half. And it just seems like the Dolphins could really use the halftime break right now. Momentum definitely on the side of the Dust Devils these last several minutes, but the number that matters, the goal tally, and right now that favors CSI. Easy to forget, the Dolphins had a chance to go up 2-0 on the shot by Kolka.
Right.
Speaking of Kolka, she moves through the midfield and was unable to avoid the challenge from Lara.
It looked like right there Kolka needed a pass, but just did not see her teammates at the side leading to that turnover.
Giveaway in the midfield by the Dust Devils. Uwe. Moving forward. Looking to beat her marker to the sideline. Could not.
And the throw, it looked like Garcia went on the field. So now the Dolphins, I believe, will now have a throw in.
CSI will certainly take it. Dolphins will look to generate something on the attack with under 2 minutes to play in this first half, and a big opportunity given on this throw. And now they will throw from a bit deeper. I've said it many times this year. Uwe certainly capable of a long throw-in. She sends it toward D'Amico, and that bounces right over her head and over the touchline. Goal kick, A&M.
Now, a minute 30 to go in the first half.
There's a takeaway by Kolka. tracks this ball down in the corner. Kolka off the mark, looking for Carrara. Albano clears it into the Dust Devils bench.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
1 minute to go first half as that's headed out of play. Dust Devils looking for one last opportunity on the attack. Dolphins looking to close out the first half with a lead. That's sent toward the center of the pitch. Dangerous spot. Hecht got a head on it. Marr looking to clear, gets it away.
She took a nasty landing on that header.
Hecht went down hard, and Marr somehow got it away as that's chipped into the box. Quadra there. And the Dolphins again are able to clear it out of danger. 22 seconds to go first half. Carrara for Evola. Evola across midfield. Up ahead toward D'Amico. Good ball on target. D'Amico a bit too strong on the touch.
10, 9, 8,
and a whistle is blown, but that will likely do it for the first half. Bodies all over the place. And the first half comes to a close. The Dolphins lead the Dust Devils 1-0 after 45 minutes of play. When we come back, the second half of this NCAA Division II women's soccer matchup from Dolphin Soccer Park. Dolphins are the 1-goal lead at halftime.
I feel like as a player, I've grown so much with this group and with my coaches, and my game has just elevated a lot more than it would have anywhere else, to be honest. So I'm just so grateful to be able to play with this team. And just being able to play in Division I soccer week in, week out, it's just getting the best of both worlds, having the opportunity to get a degree. You really have to appreciate what you have. And there's so many kids around the world that don't get these opportunities, so you have to take advantage of it for sure.
If I lose, I'll respond with respect.
If I win, I'll back it up with humility.
If I fail, I'll rise up with honor.
It's tough for us to put it all on the line.
Don't undo my hard work with poor sportsmanship.
Respect. It's the name of the game.
My dad was a soccer coach and bought this little book bag. I could sit in the book bag like facing backwards and look like my legs out. So I'd be in his book bag when my dad coaches and the ball's going around. I'm like kicking at the ball in the back and my dad's like, we have a prodigy. So he put me into soccer and it just progressed from there. The catalyst was the opportunity to play soccer at a Division II school. I loved the team. They brought me in like I was one of their own. The professors help out so much. They actually care about developing me, not only so I just memorize the material and able to take a test, but am I able to apply the information. I don't feel nervous asking them, hey, I'm not going to be in class, can you send me something? And they're completely fine with it and they understand, which is the best part. On my team, I thrive to work as hard as I can. I mean, whatever you do on the field, there's a positive correlation to whatever else you do. Be it personal relationships, homework, the way you carry yourself. I'm able to go out and become president of the Student Athletic Advisory Committee. SAC is consistent of like a ton of different backgrounds, and we'll come up with cool ideas for like fundraisings and having the opportunity to raise money for Make-A-Wish and knowing it's going towards a good cause. Not only motivates me, but it motivates the whole community. I've changed since I got to King University. It's really helped me to develop as a leader. I think it's honestly the best thing that's ever happened.
Dear soccer, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be in this position today.
Thank you for being something that is more than just my sport.
Soccer really is the beautiful game, and it will take you more places and give you more experiences than you could have ever dreamed of.
The people that I owe the most to are my teammates. They have been my crutch to lean on, shoulder to cry on, my hype woman in times of doubt, and my best friends day in and day out.
You get to wake up every day and play the sport you love at one of the highest levels at a prestigious university surrounded by your best friends. There is simply no better feeling.
You have given me my best friends, my most trusted mentors, and the most essential experiences of my young life. You are my community. With you, there is no race, no gender, no rich, and no poor. There is just the ball, 2 goals, and a common language.
Thank you for teaching me how to be a strong and courageous woman on and off the field.
Thank you for giving me hope for the future.
On the soccer field, I found a home. That is where I have always belonged.
I've learned a lot of things. I think one of the biggest things is how to cope with people, because I think that at the University of Virginia, and just as you keep moving on in life, you're going to keep meeting many more people. And I think all of the connections that I've made just at the University of Virginia they've become a big part of me. I think even the guys on the team, I consider some of them my family. I mean, I wake up in the morning at 6 in the morning, I'm spending time with them all the way up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And I think that's one of the bigger things that I've learned is the relationships that I build with people, whether it be on the soccer field and off the soccer field, because even classmates at University of Virginia are some people I consider some of my best friends. And I definitely think connections with people and the bonds that you build with people that I know are going to carry on with me through my entire life, it's definitely some of the bigger lessons I've learned.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, our drive, to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
I can't describe how much I learned as a player, but also as a human being, because you have to overcome challenges that you don't face in other areas. As part of the NCAA and obviously the college system itself, being a student athlete, there's so many challenges that not everybody else can relate to, and you have to try to excel in both areas. And now, eventually, you'll become a leader. Like in my case, I kind of had to step up into that role, and I feel like I've embraced that challenge. And now, I love the spot where I am right now. I love how I've matured, become a leader, become the captain of the team, and hopefully, I can help the rest of the guys win the Natty.
I I was the kid who would do surgery on my teddy bear and like have my sister be my patient, and I would wear the stethoscope and the lab coat. I was that kid. Wayne State Medical School has been my dream medical school since I was 5. Dr. News, who is the head of the biology department, definitely has had a huge impact over the past 2 years I've been in the lab. He took a chance on me and actually gives me the power to actually do things. Athletics are important, but so is service, so is research, so is becoming a better person. And we expect you to do well athletically, but don't forget the reason you're here, which is to give back to your community and to get good grades. I've had so many experiences with underprivileged people and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Dear soccer, there are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you. From the moment I was brought onto this earth, you were all I knew. You have been with me and have seen me from a young little boy in Brazil to a well-rounded man in America. From all the days and nights kicking the ball at walls, breaking everything at home and making my mom upset, sleeping with a ball under my arms, making fun of my dad for beating him by 1 goal, never imagined that he will let me in just to see me smile. You were there for me. You were there with me. When we are together, nothing else matters. It's me and you. It's like the whole world disappears. Everything goes away and we just enjoy it. I have always given you my all, my very best. Soccer, you have brought me to a place outside of my comfort zone, gave me an opportunity to live out my dream, and introduced me to my mentors, my role models, and most importantly, my family. You have been my teacher, my biggest fan, my biggest critic, and my best friend. With you, I was able to accomplish milestones that I'll always be proud, experience moments that I'll never forget, make memories that I'll forever remember, and live the life that I always dream about. So thank you. Thank you for turning the little boy who used to break things into the house to the man that I am today. There are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you. But there are words to describe the feelings that I have right now, playing in the Final Four, with the greatest team, the greatest coaching staff, with the greatest university, and with the greatest fans. Nothing will ever compare or measure up to this moment. We're not done. I hope to still have you with me for a long time and live many more great memories together. Thank you, soccer.
Underprivileged people and just seeing that they want the basic things that people get out of life. And if I can help in any way, that just kind of warms my heart. That's why I want to be a doctor, to serve those who have been dealt a bad hand. It was my sophomore indoor season. It was the first year with our new head coach. And he comes in and he's like, we could be a national contending team if you guys work hard. And I heard him and I was like, well, I want to be a national champion. I want to be an All-American. And I bought in because he bought into our team. And I qualified to go to indoor nationals. It was just because I bought into myself, because someone bought into me. I decided I wanted it, so I went and grabbed it.
Dear soccer, there are no words to describe my love, admiration, and appreciation for you. From the moment I was brought onto this earth, you were all I knew. You have been with me and have seen me from a young little boy in Brazil to a well-rounded man in America. From all the days and nights kicking the ball at walls, breaking everything at home and making my mom upset, sleeping with a ball under my arms, making fun of my dad for beating him by 1 goal, never imagined that he will let me in just to see me smile. You were there for me. You were there with me. When we are together, nothing else matters. It's me and you. It's like the whole world disappears. Everything goes away, and we just enjoy it. I have always given you my all, my very best. Soccer, you have brought me to a place outside of my comfort zone, gave me an opportunity to live out my dream, and introduced me to my mentors, my role models, and most importantly, my family. You have been my teacher, my biggest fan, my biggest critic, and my best friend. With you, I was able to accomplish milestones that I'll always be proud, experience moments that I'll never forget, make memories that I'll forever remember, and live the life that I always dream about.
And we are back here from Dolphin Soccer Park for the second half of this game between the Dust Devils of Texas A&M International University and the CSI Dolphins. Dolphins leading this one 1-0 off the goal from Isabella Radovini. We will get you started here for the second half, as it will be the Dust Devils that will be kicking it off here in the second half. As of right now, I will be on the call solo. Joe Foreman will be rejoining me in just a few moments. As we will try to make sure we have every single starter right for the second half. It looks to be the same starters that ended the first half of this game. That will be starting the second half as Avila has the ball. Gives it up to Rodriguez. Rodriguez crosses it, but it's headed away. Kolka keeps it alive for the Dolphins. Albano to Melgar. Melgar to Albano. Now Melgar will reset for CSI. Uwe. Now it goes to Kolka. Kolka still fighting with the ball. And that's going to lead to a free kick coming off for CSI. Kolka made sure to keep herself in front of the ball. And was able to draw a whistle right there to now lead the Dolphins right now with a free kick. Looks to be Carrara that's going to be the one that free kicks this one for CSI. Carrara crosses it in front and just high of the net. Looked to be Albano, though, was the one that took the shot for the Dolphins. And it just went high. A good attempt right there for CSI. But it will lead to a goal kick coming up now for the Dust Devils. So at the end of that first half, the Dust Devils had a lot of opportunities to tie this game, including a shot that went off the post. But to none avail. Now they have a chance right here. But a save from Villacrez off the attempt from Atkinson. That'll be the third shot on goal for the Dust Devils here with that one, as Villacrez will send this one away. D'Amico gives it to Radovini. Radovini's got a good chance right here. And she'll send it on net, but it's saved by Solano. Now here comes the Dust Devils. Looks to be Garcia that is the one that has the ball. That is indeed Garcia. And I believe that's going to be a throw-in coming up for Texas A&M. Velasco has the ball. Velasco gives it up to Garcia. Garcia sends it out in front. And it looked like a hit off of Atkinson. An easy stop right there for Villacris. Villacris will send that one away. Headed by Radavini. D'Amico now sends it out to Melgar. She'll get it up to Kolka. Kolka to D'Amico. Albano to Radavini. Excuse me, Evola to Radavini. Radavini gives it up now. Out in front, but the Dolphins were offsides. Carrara was the one that was offside for the Dolphins right there, so that will lead to a free kick for Texas A&M right here. Rodriguez chasing this one down for the Dolphins on the defensive side. And I believe they've called a goal kick coming up for CSI. That is indeed the case, so the Dolphins will have a goal kick coming up. Hit off the foot of Gutierrez that went out. So Villacris will send it away. And now a chance here for St. Louis, but she shoots it far wide and leads to another goal kick coming up for the Dolphins, as I'm going to be rejoined by my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman.
Well, I have returned from the stats desk, Nick, where we have yet another stats issue. The word we received from down on field level is that both teams would be starting the second half with the same players they ended the first half with. I know better than to trust the word I received from down on field level, so I double-checked it, and sure enough, the Dolphins started with the same 11. The Dust Devils did not, so we now have a stats issue at the start of the half. We have to insert those substitutions, and we'll have to take care of that, hopefully, at the end of the game, though I have to admit I won't be spending too much time on it because we have NFL kickoff coming up in just 1 minute.
And I believe that we have the same stars that started this game for the Dust Devils that started.
Yes, that's what they should have told, the same starting lineup
right,
as the 11 who started the game. That's chipped in the air toward the far post, and the Dolphins are forced to head it over the touchline and concede a corner. Good news is the weather has certainly improved. The sun beginning to peek through the clouds a bit here at Dolphins Soccer Park. And so far in the second half, the Dust Devils have picked up right where they left off at the end of the first half.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Joe. I was going to say, it looks the exact same way we ended that first half in terms of momentum going for the Dust Devils. They have been really aggressive to start this second half.
Corner on its way. Cleared with the head by Evola. And, boy, if you parked in that front row, you were holding your breath, Nick.
Never park in that front row. You got to be careful.
Never park in the front row.
Doesn't matter what sport it is.
No, it doesn't. Even more so over at the baseball diamond.
Right.
The improved weather, a nice crowd has assembled here at Dolphins Soccer Park. Melgar pressured. Got it to Rodriguez, who gave it away. And she takes it right back. Dust Devils wanted a foul. Quadra didn't get the whistle. Rodriguez continues to battle. And the whistle is blown for a foul. Looked like Quadra was upset she didn't get the whistle. Then, with a strong challenge on Rodriguez, drew a retaliation. The officials trying to get them to converse. Rodriguez wants no part of it. Meanwhile, Dust Devils take the free kick. Strong challenge. A good clean tackle by Uwe along the far side. Here comes Carrara. Carrara was taken down Tackle attempt along the far side. And now the Dust Devils have it in the midfield.
Second time today, Joe, that Garcia's had to deal with a slide tackle while having the ball.
That's sent to the midfield. D'Amico got a small piece of it, but not enough to get it to Carrara. Too strong on that ball by Thorne. Dolphins will throw in along the far side. $36:25 to go in the second half. It's headed in the air and headed a second time. And the Dust Devils have it in the midfield once again. Albano up ahead to D'Amico. Kolka for Carrara. And Carrara couldn't slow that ball down. Looked to have stumbled over it a bit. Throw in A&M. The Dolphins saw possession time swing against them late in the first half. Start of the second half has seen the Dust Devils possess the ball almost the entire time. Avoiding a challenge was Gutierrez, but she could not keep the ball in play. And the Dolphins will throw.
And if you're CSI, you got to try to get into that offensive zone right now. They have really been backed up for most of that end of the first half, and now the start of this second half, they could really use an attacking possession right here.
We await a Dolphins throw. Rodriguez takes it, and it's immediately intercepted. Atkinson had it knocked away. Rodriguez giving chase along with St. Louis, and Rodriguez was pushed. Free kick, Staten Island.
Road team was certainly not happy about that call, as they thought that call would go in their way. And it'll be Radovini coming up with the free kick for CSI.
Over 10 minutes gone by here in the second half. Albano into the midfield. That ball pinballs around a bit onto the foot of Evola. Melgar for Rodriguez, who could not keep it in play. Quadra. Back to Castellanos. She sends it far side for Thorne. Thorne moving forward into the attacking third, plays it toward the far sideline. Strong dribbling there to avoid Carrara. Cross into the center of the box, cleared away by Marr. Dust Devils still have it. The Dolphins having a really tough time getting possession back here. St. Louis for Quadra. She tried to drop it off with the heel and could not get it to Velasco. The Dolphins now have it.
And they're gonna
player down.
I was going to say they're going to have numbers now, Joe, with the player down.
Bit too strong on that ball for Carrara. And the Dust Devils have it right back again. Whistle and another Dust Devil down.
I think that's Castellanos there, Joe.
And Radovini's going to be shown a yellow. CSI men's soccer contingent doesn't like the call, and we're going to have an injury timeout down on the field. So with that, we'll step aside and take a quick break. 32:58 on the clock in the second half from Dolphin Soccer Park. CSI leads Texas A&M International 1-0.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends, live sports and watch parties, to Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Well, Nick, our viewers got a second look at our intro. A whole new show with 32:58 on the clock here in the second half. Dolphins lead 1-0 as players being helped off the field. Andrea Castellanos being helped off after she took a hard tackle that drew a yellow card against Isabella Radavini.
And she's having trouble putting weight on her own leg, so that's a tough injury right there for the Dust Devils.
All right, Nick, why don't you do us a small favor and close the door to your right? I forgot to close it on my way in. Thank you, Nick. So when play resumes, April Alvarez is going to check back in place of the injured Castellanos. It's going to be a free kick for the Dust Devils. And when the clock restarts, we will have 32:58 on the clock. Dust Devils have it in the midfield. St. Louis redirects toward the far side, and A&M could not keep it in. Well, as we mentioned before, Nick, early in the second half, the Dust Devils really getting the better of play, perhaps. That timeout gives the Dolphins a chance to regroup and get back on track. They started this game incredibly well, had more than one very good opportunity. Of course, one of those yielded a goal. They had a chance for one more a bit later. And I think the Dolphins would really love to have another opportunity at getting that two-goal cushion. That missed opportunity in front could come back to haunt them if A&M is able to score.
And for A&M's side, they're also, could have been a tie game right now. They had a shot go right off the post and a second opportunity that was deflected by Albano that went out. So CSI is also grateful that they still have this one-goal cushion, but you're absolutely right. They would love to be up 2 with the way that they've been backed up these last couple of minutes, including that end of the first half.
Dust Devils have it in the midfield once again. Rodriguez knocks that one down, but right onto the foot of Gutierrez. Gutierrez moving forward. Avoids Rodriguez. Can she keep it in? She does. It's redirected toward the top of the box. And that was dangerous. D'Amico goes down. And the Dust Devils once again have possession. Fourn moving into the attacking third, plays it up ahead along the far sideline. Give and go. Chance for a cross in front. Once again, Albano the first to get a foot on it for Staten Island. Ball in the air, headed and cleared by Marr. Not cleared very far, but Radavini will take care of that. As Forn again heads it back into the attacking third. That's sent toward goal and wide of the frame.
Seems like every time the Dolphins try to clear the ball, there is a Dust Devil right there to keep it in play. But the Dolphins were able to force a long shot opportunity right there, stopped by Villacris, and now she'll kick it away.
Ball in the midfield, headed in the air. Rodriguez waiting for it, has it. Radavini, near side. Beats Gutierrez toward the center of the pitch. And she wanted Nenska Hopushovska, that ball off target. And once again, the Dust Devils will throw.
Just looked like a little bit of miscommunication right there on that pass attempt.
Dust Devils once again looking to set up an attack. They have had the ball for much of the second half as we are now over 15 minutes into half number 2. Atkinson working against Melgar, still has it. Kolka came over to help. Now Quadra is dispossessed by Uwe. Melgar for Radavini. Kolka. For Nenska Hopushovska, bit strong on that pass and too strong. Tangle up on that challenge by D'Amico. Both players go down, whistle blows, play continues. That was contacted by St. Louis. Melgar looking for Radavini. That ball taken by Alvarez. She gets rid of it for Forn. Forn working toward the far sideline. Atkinson. Center of the pitch, looking for Quadra, and that is just over her outstretched boot. And she could not keep it in.
That was almost a great chance right there for the Dust Devils, as Quadra just missed it going off the tip of her foot, giving them an opportunity to score right there.
Albano for Radavini, and Radavini could not keep it in. Albano chasing it down toward the corner alongside Atkinson. And that's why you don't park in the front row, Nick.
Even our fans know not to do that.
They know now.
So at least some of them.
You just never know. And that car, if you are going to park in that row, behind the net's the spot.
I was about to say
it didn't matter. Once again, ball with the Dust Devils in the midfield. Now St. Louis, and she's flagged for offsides. Free kick Staten Island. 27-22 on the clock here at Dolphin Soccer Park.
And time stopped right there.
Any idea why?
I believe for the card, Joe. I think that would be the reasoning.
Okay, they were helping
the
injured player to the bench. That's Castellanos. She was carted around the perimeter of the pitch. You hate to see that. She's completely unable to put any weight on that injured leg. Throw in Staten Island. Long throw by Uwe, and she overshot the target there. But the Dolphins get a fortunate bounce, and D'Amico just chipped it straight up into the air. She's taken down. And now the Dust Devils move forward into the midfield. Atkinson was met by Albano, but Atkinson keeps it. She wanted St. Louis on the through ball, and the Dolphins will let that one roll to Villacres.
Anytime you see St. Louis in that attacking opportunity, you have to hold your breath if you're CSI right now. But they've kept her from without even having a shot opportunity. She had that one chance earlier in the end of the first half, but it went wide due to the block from Albano. So Dolphins have done a good job defensively to keep her away.
That ball sent into the attacking third. Marr in good position, waiting for it. Plays it with the body. Evela avoids a challenge from Quadra. Now Rodriguez. Nearly had it knocked away, and the Dust Devils take it. That's sent forward by Gutierrez and cleared by Evela. Headed forward again. St. Louis got it away for Atkinson. Chipped in the air. Rodriguez and Villacrest will watch it roll over the touchline. Goal kick Dolphins.
Now we approach near the 25-minute marker here in this second half. Another goal kick coming up for CSI. Trying to maintain this 1-0 lead, and would love to make it 2 to give us some cushion in this game.
Melgar for Evela. Another aggressive defensive play, this time by Osorio. But once again, the Dust Devils cannot keep it in the field of play. The Dolphins will throw, however, deep from in their own end. As we are now past 20 minutes elapsed in half number 2. Dolphins still hold a 1-goal lead. That's played ahead for Gutierrez. Sent toward the top of the box. Atkinson tracks it down. She sends it away to Forn. Right back to Atkinson. Atkinson, center of the box. St. Louis header saved by Villacrest. And it will be a corner kick for the Dust Devils.
She just got a piece on that one, Joe. If not, St. Louis had a perfect opportunity for her 4th goal in 2 games. A slow roller after the save from Villacrest, and it just went off. And now a corner coming up for Texas A&M.
Well, here you get a look at that last attacking play. Once again, Villacrest fully extends to make the save. Corner, center of the box. It rolls straight through traffic. Shot wide of goal. That one off the foot of Jimenez. Dolphins clinging to a 1-goal lead, escape. Another dangerous scoring opportunity for the Dust Devils yet again. Dolphins just need to find some way to generate some attacking pressure in the second half and take the burden off their backers and their goalkeeper. This may help, but D'Amico lost her footing. Radavini had a lot of room along the near side if D'Amico got a foot on that one. Atkinson playing it toward the near side. Gutierrez sends one toward the far post, and that was contacted and sent wide off of a Dust Devil.
I believe that was St. Louis. That was the one that contacted that one. But you're right. It went just wide left, and now leading to another goal kick coming up for CSI.
Whistle blows down on the field. The Dolphins a bit eager on that free kick.
And it's because of a substitution, Joe. I believe Carrara is the one that's checking back in for CSI.
Carrara, Fernenska Hopushovska on the Staten Island side. Albano's going to take this kick. Carrara had it roll off her foot and over the touchline, throw in Dust Devils. Radavini will now work from the other sideline. Carrara on the near sideline for the Dolphins. Forn sends one up ahead along the far side. That's crossed toward the center of the box. Marr tried to clear and does complete the clearance. Alvarez plays it ahead. And a foul is whistled against the Dolphins.
That's going to be on Kolka right there. She was trying to head it away, but had to use her opponent to try to leverage herself to get that header. And now a free kick coming up for the Dust Devils.
Big set piece coming up here. Texas A&M International has been knocking on the door since late in the first half, and now with a quality free kick attempt. And that is off the crossbar. Villacrest got up there. She was waiting for it as that is sent well high. But it looked like Villacrest was there, Nick. Nonetheless, a very good attempt on the free kick.
Well, so far in this game, Joe, the Dust Devils' worst enemy has been that post in this game. Another one off there. But you're right, Villacrest was there nonetheless, even if there was an attempt. So a great, another opportunity, I should say, for Texas A&M. It just misses.
Well, that's certainly a case of the iron not being your friend. And so far in this match, the Dust Devils have fallen victim to the post and the crossbar 2 separate times.
Nice shot by Uwe right there to intercept that pass and not give the Dolphins a chance here.
Uwe wanted D'Amico, but a bit too strong on that ball. Radovini continues to battle for it. Looked like she was grabbed. She keeps it in play. Radovini moving toward the penalty area. Now working along the touchline, sends one toward goal. And it looked like that was saved over the touchline and out of play. The official says no. It looked like she batted it down onto the turf and then picked it up. Takeaway by Melgar. Melgar for Kolka. Kolka challenged from behind by Quadra. And the Dust Devils take it back again. Under 20 minutes to play, second half. Alvarez across the midfield stripe. Met by Carrara, who takes it away and gives it right back.
She got all of that one, Joe, on that deflection.
Sure did. Here come the Dust Devils again into the attacking third. Cross toward the center of the box, headed by St. Louis, broken up by Rodriguez. Quadra looking for a shooting lane. Albano goes down. The shot on target is saved by Villacrest.
And they made that a tough shot for Quadra right there. She really did not have the best opportunity and look right there. Was able to get a shot off, but Villacrest with a good stop. As now the Dolphins still hold on to that 1-0 lead with 18:30 to go in this second half.
For all the chances that the Dust Devils have had in the second half, the Dolphins' defense has broken up several more. Backers have done good work in this game to prevent additional shot opportunities. They've been operating in a lot of traffic backed against their own goal. Quadra working against Melgar. Gives it up to Gutierrez. Gutierrez towards St. Louis. And Marr will watch it roll into the arms of Villacrest. Villacrest will punt toward the far side. That will land short of midfield. And now the Dust Devils have it at the midfield stripe. St. Louis looking to work past Albano. Rodriguez also in the area. And Albano forces St. Louis to the sideline. Good defensive play. Cross toward the near post. Redirected on goal by Atkinson and saved again by Villacrest.
We've seen a couple of those, Joe, for Texas A&M. They've had a couple of crosses out in front that have led to great shot opportunities. But Villacrest, once again, able to catch that one on the cross attempt. Another big-time save for her, holding that 1-0 lead.
Kolka. Shouldered off the ball. It's taken away. St. Louis onside. Through. Atkinson on goal wide. What an opportunity for the Dust Devils yet again.
And man, Joe, the Dolphins, you can see the momentum right now is certainly in the favor of Texas A&M in terms of shot-wise. Another chance right there, just far wide left for Atkinson. Now leading to a goal kick for CSI as they're going to have a substitution now coming in here with about 16 minutes to go in regulation.
The Dust Devils in the second half have had plenty of chances. Have yet to convert for their first goal, but Since the final 10 or 15 minutes of the first half, just about every scoring opportunity has belonged to Texas A&M International. The Dolphins continue to hold on to this one-goal lead.
Substitution for CSI was Gabriela Castro coming in. She checked in for Colleen Rodriguez.
And how about the second half Villacrest has had, Nick? She's had to make some tough saves.
She has been a huge reason why the Dolphins maintained this lead.
Fight for it along the far side. Gaining a step was Garcia, but it's taken away. D'Amico from Elgar. Back to Mar. Mar for Evela. Evela made contact with it, but it ends up on the foot of Alvarez. Here comes Gutierrez into the attacking third, toward the center of the pitch. She wanted Atkinson, intercepted by Melgar, taken away by Atkinson. Shot on goal, saved again by Villacrest.
We've seen now the last couple of minutes, Atkinson has put some good shots on the net for Texas A&M, but Villacrest once again with another good stop right there. Now the Dust Devils' 7th shot on goal in this game.
Kolka for Evela. Evela wanted D'Amico a bit too strong. Very quickly, the Dust Devils looking to turn this into an attacking play. Garcia working along the far side. Finds St. Louis. St. Louis sends one off the body of Albano. We will clear with the left foot.
That's a very good clear right there.
Radavini got a piece and sent it off her marker. Throw in Staten Island.
Good job by the Dolphins right there. Uwe was able to send it away, and Radavini was able to hit it off of the defender, and now give a throw-in for the Dolphins.
Final 14 minutes from Dolphin Soccer Park. Staten Island leading Texas A&M International 1-0. And off the throw-in, the Dust Devils took it back for a moment. The Dolphins have it again. Evela toward Carrara. Broken up. Forn for Garcia. Dust Devils moving in toward the attacking third. And we have a flag up. Offside was going to be the call against the Dust Devils. The Dolphins are awarded a goal kick. And we also had a collision along the far side. Clock stopped at 13 minutes and 13 seconds. That goal kick sent away by Albano, near side. Fight for possession again, Alvarez. She works toward the center of the pitch. Alvarez being given some space. Looking for St. Louis, that's redirected. Opportunity here for the Dust Devils, and that shot is wide. Goal kick, Staten Island.
I believe that was Garcia that took that shot attempt right there, but another one, Joe, that goes wide. So another tough break right there for Texas A&M.
Well, Nick, we lost our camera feed because of the lightning delay. We're outside the window that our recording was set to, so we're going to have to try and log in and fix that right now. So for a moment, we'll overlay our Sportsnet graphic, and Nick and I will bring you the sounds of the game as we restore our camera feed. Off the throw-in in the midfield, another collision, and we have a foul whistled. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the women's soccer feed, so we're going to have to create a new event and just get the camera feed back up. Nick, why don't you take over on the call while I try and restore our camera feed?
I'll do that. Going to be a throw-in coming in for the Dolphins, as that was a interesting toss of the ball. And now the throw in for CSI. Now lead to a turnover. Quadra. Trying to get it to Atkinson, but intercepted by Melgar. She gives it up to Carrara. She looked ahead looking for Kolka, but it was intercepted by Texas A&M, and now they will have another chance right here. Castro got a good foot on there, but still in the possession of the Dust Devils. Quadra looking up ahead, but now again tipped away. And the Dolphins are going to get called for a whistle right here. So it's going to be a free kick coming up for Texas A&M. Under 11 minutes to go in this second half. If I had to guess, the call on the field must have been a handball, if I'm not mistaken, in that scenario. So it's a tough break right there. And now a huge opportunity for the position for Rosario, where she is standing on this free kick. Villacruz will once again have to be ready for a shot chance right here. Rosario on the free kick. Stopped by Villacruz.
Well, Nick, our camera feed's not cooperating right now. It doesn't want to come back. Recently, a new account was created for CSI Women's Soccer. I do not have access to that account. Head coach Alex Mendolia has access to that account. He schedules the live stream, and with the lightning delay, we have now exceeded the allotted time for the live stream. So until the feed returns, there's really nothing we can do.
Well, we'll have to go on the fly as the rest of this game goes. We'll bring you the action. As that was a good job right there for CSI. It's not the one out. That'll be a throw-in coming in for the Dust Devils as they'll have a substitution. Both sides actually will have a substitution as D'Amico will check out for CSI. Rodriguez now checks back in. I believe Sammy Hecht was the one that checked in for the Dust Devils, so we saw a couple opportunities for her in that first half to score. A chance right there for Texas A&M, but it was swatted away from CSI. A long opportunity on that shot attempt, but Villacruz once again able to come down with it. So it looks like that was Forn that came up with the shot. 8:38 to go in this second half.
We're going to try and bring it back again, Nick. This is my last-ditch effort. See if we can get this figured out.
That one knocked out of play by Melgar. Another throw-in coming in for Texas A&M. And now St. Louis tries to track that one down. It's in the corner, one-on-one with Uwe. She keeps it to herself, but the Dolphins are able to get it back until Kolka had a miscommunication with Rodriguez. And Villacruz is the one that comes up with that with 7:20 to go. The Dolphins really need to get this ball on the other side of the pitch if they're going to have an opportunity to hold on to this game. Get that third win of the season, trying to avoid the very worst, another tie on their record.
All right, Nick, with success.
The ball. All right. Last-ditch effort, and it worked. Good job, Joe.
In 7 years, I'll finish the point after this, as Albano collides with St. Louis. And a penalty is called against the Dolphins.
And the Dolphin faithful are not happy about it, Joe. And now St. Louis is going to be the one that comes up with a goal kick right here. That's a big-time call this late in the game is now we're going to have a stoppage of the clock with 6:25 to go.
We'll slow it down one more time, but from up here, Nick, that looked like a really tough call against the Dolphins.
There's been a lot of tough calls in this game, Joe, and most of them have unfortunately been going against the Dolphins, and now this is a big opportunity for both sides. If Hillcrest can get a stop and keep this game 1-0, that's huge. For St. Louis, a goal ties this game, and with the way that the possession has gone in the second half, gives Texas A&M a great opportunity to potentially win this game.
Clock is stopped at 6:25. Penalty kick coming up for the Dust Devils. And once again, the pressure firmly upon the shoulders of Dolphins goalkeeper Sarah Villacrest. She's been great in this game, has been very busy in the second half, has made several huge saves, and will look to make one more.
And it certainly would be the biggest save if she were able to get it. St. Louis looking for her 4th goal in now 2 games, Joe, right here on this kick.
Kristen St. Louis will be taking the penalty kick for Texas A&M International. They trail by a goal. 6:25 to go, and the PK is good. We are knotted up at 1 with just under 6.5 minutes to play. Kristen St. Louis has leveled the score.
Kirsten St. Louis, it looked like, was fooled Villacrest to the right of that and went left on that penalty kick to now tie the score at 1 with 6:25 to go. So it's now anyone's ball game this late in the game.
Goal scored by number 26, Houston St. Louis.
Let's go, Blue! 6:25 remaining, score even at 1. Takeaway by St. Louis. Looking to get by Melgar, could not.
Joe, you can hear the bench for that Dust Devils team. They are getting into this game now more than ever.
Well, that goal on the penalty kick certainly energizing the visitors. Dolphins have a lot of student athletes and supporters in the crowd as well, and you could hear it when that penalty was whistled. The crowd, certainly partial to Staten Island, did not like the call.
Now a goal kick coming up for the Dolphins, under 6 minutes to go. Now trying to regain that lead and get an all-important win.
Under 6 minutes to play. Albano didn't get all of that kick. Sent it pretty short on a low-line drive. Quadra takes it away from D'Amico. Looked to play it off Evola right back to herself. Could not. This is Hecht. Dispossessed by Melgar. Melgar working into the midfield. Melgar for Radavini. Radavini could not avoid a challenge. Dolphins do keep possession. Melgar working toward the center of the pitch. D'Amico now. D'Amico for Melgar, broken up by Alvarez. Alvarez avoids a challenge from D'Amico. Osorio gave it up to Forn. That's sent toward the midfield stripe. Rodriguez tracks it down for CSI. Melgar plays it back to Marr. She sends it in the air across midfield. That was headed and onto the foot of Radavini. Radavini chips it toward D'Amico, who was the nearest Dolphin, but that ball rolls into the arms of Solano.
Solano now kicks that one away.
Rodriguez redirects for Kolka. D'Amico for Rodriguez, who gives chase far side. She couldn't get there. Dust Devils throw. Just over 4 minutes to go. Here comes A&M International, and a foul is whistled against Evola. Yellow card is shown, and the clock is stopped.
Clock stopped now with 4:03 as the player down was Quadra. And that's the second yellow card now issued to the Dolphins. Radavini had one earlier, now Evola right here.
It's going to be a free kick for the Dust Devils with 4:03 on the clock. Trying to get a look at who it's going to be attempting the free kick. be Osorio. Dolphins backing up as the Dust Devils get prepared for this set piece. Osorio directing traffic. Whistle blows. Free kick played short. That's sent toward the box and into the arms of Villacrest. Villacrest punts toward midfield. That's over D'Amico. Rodriguez giving chase. It's chipped in the air. And D'Amico on the attempted header goes down. Throw in Dust Devils. 3.5 to play from Dolphin Soccer Park. Score level at 1. Quadra.
Say, Joe, the last couple of minutes, the intensity has certainly picked up from both sides.
Melgar for Kolka. Kolka into the midfield. Broken up by Alvarez. Quadra took a shot from Kolka. She looks a bit shaken up as that's sent over the near side. Dolphins will throw. Under 3 minutes to go from Dolphin Soccer Park. The CSI supporters beginning to make some noise. Both of these teams looking to stay unbeaten on the season. As a foul is whistled against the Dust Devils. Free kick, Staten Island taken quickly. D'Amico goes down, that pass intercepted. Atkinson up ahead, but too strong on that ball toward Hecht and St. Louis. 2:30 to play. Dolphins have it.
And both of these teams now starting to run out of time and trying to take the lead late on this game. So CSI still looking, I believe, Joe, for their first shot goal of the second half. I don't even know if they've had one shot in general.
I don't think they've attempted a shot, Nick. They've hardly possessed the ball. We don't keep track of possession time, but there's no doubt that since late in the first half, possession time has favored the Dust Devils. That being said, early in this game, possession favored the Dolphins by that same margin. That's sent toward the far post, well outside of the goal box and headed away. Goal kick coming up for Staten Island. 1:40 to play.
Another goal kick here for CSI, and this could be very well their last chance at scoring the game-winning goal in this one.
Clock winding down toward 1 minute to play. Albano sends it toward midfield. Over the head of D'Amico. Alvarez. Into the midfield circle. Forn. St. Louis lost it. Fight for possession along the far side as we reach 1 minute to play. The Dust Devils bench eager for one last attacking opportunity. And they will throw here. 45 seconds remaining from Dolphin Soccer Park. Not much urgency here on this throw-in. Jimenez for Alvarez. Alvarez moving ahead, being given some space. That's sent toward the top of the box. Off the body of Atkinson. Down goes Uwe. Atkinson got a foot on it, and it rebounded off of a Dolphin. Corner kick upcoming. 20 seconds to go.
And they've got to hurry here, Joe. The clock is still winding down. They finally just got the ball. Garcia will be the one to hit the corner.
Nick, 10 seconds.
10, 7, 6, 5, 4.
And that's headed toward goal.
3,
bodied away by Castro and cleared.
1.
Well, Nick, I muted your mic when I communicated with you there, but you're doubling as public address. You had to inform the players of the final seconds. Nonetheless, a late corner kick attempt nearly yielded what could have been a game winner. Instead, we end in a 1-1 tie. And, Nick, this game between these two non-conference opponents, a very entertaining game. The Dolphins got the better of play early, but the Dust Devils really took control of this game late in the first half. And still, it took a penalty kick for them to get level. The Dolphins hold on. They will earn a point, figurative point, albeit in the standings with a tie. We end 1-1.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they'll take the tie. I know you obviously want the win, but the way that second half was going for CSI, just to be able to come out of this game at least with a 1-1 draw, you'll take it nonetheless. But a tough penalty call that led to the goal being scored by the Dust Devils certainly looms over this game. But CSI, nonetheless, did look good in this one, now going to 2-0-2 on the season.
Well, Nick, women's soccer won't be back here at Dolphin Soccer Park for quite some time. As I mentioned earlier in the day, their next home game will be at the end of September 30th to be exact, as they will take on the Queens College Knights in a CUNY rivalry matchup, also an East Coast Conference matchup. We certainly look forward to that game coming up later in the month. Before then, we have men's soccer coming up on Saturday. They take on American International College. Men's soccer, then back at home just 3 days later on September 19th. They will take on Bridgeport University. But until next time, this has been Joe Foreman, my broadcast partner, Nick Bavona, and our engineer, Asanada Afroniju. We thank you for watching. We will see you next time from Dolphin Soccer Park. Women's soccer ties with Texas A&M International 1-1.